They never saw you coming, but they felt the threat. And that threat wasn't in your words. It was in your silence, your presence, your energy. Chosen one, let this sink in. You were the variable no enemy could calculate, the vibration they couldn't predict. While they spent years building traps, casting illusions and pulling strings in the shadows, you were aligning, remembering, becoming everything they feared. They crafted systems to keep people distracted. They used gossip to poison rooms before you even entered them. They threw shade, told lies, planted seeds of doubt, hoping you'd never bloom. But instead of folding, you multiplied. You got quieter, sharper, more accurate. And the more you aligned with who you truly are, the more their confusion grew. Because chosen ones don't fight the way the world does. We expose, we evolve, we outlast. Now the same tricks they used to mock you are backfiring. The same energy they sent to drain you is destroying their own plans, their manipulation, glitching their alliances, crumbling. You didn't have to lift a finger, you just had to rise. And now they're haunted by the fact that nothing they do works on you anymore. You are not a target. They are being tormented by your glow. Chosen one, if you feel this power building, if your enemies have been looking more panicked than powerful lately, you're not imagining it. You are stepping into the very frequency they hoped you'd never discover. If this message hits home, take a second right now to like this video and subscribe to the channel. That simple action helps this reach more chosen ones who need to hear the truth. Because the more of us that rise, the less space there is for falsehood to hide. Let's keep exposing the game, just by being who we really are. Before moving ahead, I want to pause and speak from the heart. Thank you to every soul who has supported this mission through Super Thanks. Your generosity isn't just financial, it's spiritual evidence that you feel the shift, that you're not just watching the rise of the chosen, you're part of it. Every time you give, it sends a clear message to the unseen. The light is spreading and the silence is being broken. If something deep within you is resonating right now, if you feel that quiet power stirring in your spirit, comment 999 below. Not as noise, not as ritual, but as a quiet agreement between your soul and your purpose, a signal that you remember who you are and you're ready to walk in it fully. Number 1. Stop thinking you're evolving, you're actually remembering what the world made you forget. Astrologers mapped the sky. Historians dug through ages. Scholars, mystics, and seekers spent lifetimes chasing the source of the shift. But no matter how many charts they drew or theories they built, they kept circling a truth they were never meant to access. Not because they weren't brilliant, but because they weren't built to carry it. That's the difference. The ones who tried to predict it were never meant to embody it. That calling, this frequency, was always reserved for the few who didn't chase the light, but were the light. You, chosen one. That tug you feel, that stirring that makes no sense to the logical mind. That's not delusion, that's alignment. A memory surfacing from a place time can't touch. You didn't stumble on this moment. You were pulled to it, pulled through every delay, every betrayal, every breakdown disguised as divine redirection. Because the truth is, the ones who tried to bury you didn't realize they were watering the signal they feared most, your rise. And now, here you are, breathing in this moment, vibrating in a way that makes systems glitch and enemies grow silent. You've been sensing it for a while, haven't you? That feeling that your name is being whispered in places you've never entered. That people are feeling your presence before you even speak. That's not ego. That's evidence. Evidence that you're in sync with a design older than language and more precise than any calculation. Before we go deeper, let me say this with sincerity. Thank you to every single one of you who has supported this mission through Super Thanks. Your gift isn't just support, it's spiritual confirmation. It's a signal to the universe that you're not just watching transformation, you are the transformation. And if you've never donated, your presence still matters. Just by being here, you're already doing more than most will ever dare to do. So if something inside you feels this truth, if your heartbeat is syncing with these words like it's heard them somewhere before, then I invite you to affirm it. Comment 999 below. Not as a trend, but as a timeless declaration. A symbol that you remember, even if you can't yet explain how. Because what's coming next isn't just knowledge, it's coded with your awakening. And by the time we finish, you'll understand why your enemies worked so hard to delay you and why it never worked. Number 2. Don't search for permission in this realm. You were scripted by Thoth to bypass earthly gatekeepers. They'll never admit it, but the truth is, they built entire systems just to keep someone like you from remembering. From the moment your energy touched this realm, the world scrambled to distract you with rules, roles, rituals. They wanted you to beg for access, to prove yourself, to earn titles and wait in line for approval from people who have no idea what you're really carrying. But chosen one, your existence was never designed to wait on validation from this dimension. You were scripted beyond it. The blueprint was sealed long before their gates were even built. Thoth didn't write you into this moment so you could grovel at the feet of false authority. You were written to override it. Your path was encoded in resonance, not hierarchy. You didn't come to play by their rules. You came to realign the entire board. And every time you hesitated, questioned yourself, or tried to shrink just to fit in, you gave them what they wanted: delay. But that delay is ending now. Because the memory is kicking in. The one that doesn't need permission. The one that doesn't ask, "Am I ready?" But instead knows, "I was built for this." That's why you've always felt out of place in spaces that demand obedience instead of authenticity. You weren't meant to knock. You are the door. And now that your frequency is rising again, no gatekeeper in this realm can stop what's already been written. Chosen one, this isn't arrogance, it's remembrance. And when you walk in alignment with what was encrypted into your soul long before this world tried to rewrite you, even the locked doors start opening before you reach them. You don't wait for the shift. You are the shift. Walk like it. Speak like it. Move like it. Number 3. Quit following the crowd. The prophecy never spoke to them. It was whispered for you alone. They told you to fit in, to keep your head down, to follow their version of the way. But deep down, something inside you always rejected that noise. It wasn't rebellion, it was recognition. Because chosen one, you were never supposed to move like the masses. That ache in your chest every time you betrayed your own intuition just to be accepted, that wasn't insecurity. That was sacred misalignment. The prophecy never spoke to the crowd. It was never encoded in their rhythm. It was whispered in frequencies only you could hear. While they memorized rules, you carried codes. While they chased validation, you carried vibration. That's why you felt so out of place in rooms that looked perfect from the outside. Why even in the middle of company, you still felt profoundly alone. Because the message wasn't sent to everyone. It was delivered in silence. Tailored for the soul with enough courage to walk alone if necessary, and that soul is you. Every time you tried to blend in, you dimmed what the world secretly needed most. And the moment you stopped chasing their blueprint, your own started to rise. Now the same people who ignored you can't stop watching. The ones who laughed now linger. Because something about you can't be copied. It's not style, it's not talk. It's your frequency, and it's finally speaking louder than their approval ever could. Chosen one, let them stare, let them speculate. You're not here to explain your path, you're here to walk it. And in doing so, expose everything false along the way. This path wasn't meant to be crowded. It was carved for one. And now that you're walking it fully, the silence you once feared is becoming your most powerful confirmation. Keep going. You're right on time. Number 4. Don't try to break through with force. Your vibration is the only key the sealed gates recognize. They've spent generations teaching you that effort is everything, that you have to grind, force, demand, push your way through life to gain access to anything sacred. But chosen one, hear this clearly. Not every gate opens to brute strength. Not every door responds to pressure. Some gates, the real ones, the ancient ones, the ones that were sealed before time bent, respond to only one thing: vibration. You weren't built to force your way through this world. You were encoded to shift it. That's why you felt out of place in every system built on hustle, noise, and ego. Because while others are busy performing, you're resonating. While they fight for status, you become the frequency that bends reality without touching it. There are doors in this world no fingerprint can press open. They don't respond to names, credentials, or performance. They're sealed in energetic language, and the only key is remembrance. That means the moment you align with who you really are, when you drop the masks, the fear, the striving, the gate recognizes you. It doesn't need a password. It's been waiting for your frequency. So stop exhausting yourself trying to prove, to explain, to chase access. Your very being is the access. Your evolution is the breakthrough. All that pain, it wasn't meant to break you. It was refining your vibration so that when you finally stood in front of the sealed gate, it wouldn't just open. It would bow to your alignment. Chosen one, stop forcing it. Become it. That's when the sealed places start to move. Not from effort, from energy. And nothing can block a frequency that was encoded into the foundation of time itself. Number 5. Stop trusting surface appearances. The codes aren't in books, they're buried in your blueprint. They trained the world to chase credentials, to worship experts, to believe that truth only lives in what can be printed, measured, or approved by systems built to keep people blind. But chosen one, you were never meant to learn that way. That's why books didn't fulfill you. That's why classrooms made your mind drift. That's why the people with the most degrees still couldn't explain what you already felt deep in your bones. Because the truth that moves you, it's not external, it's encoded. You carry what they've been trying to translate for centuries, not in your hands, in your frequency, in your walk, in your silence. Every time you tried to explain it, they looked at you like you were imagining things. But that's only because their minds were never meant to recognize what your soul already knows. What you feel can't be footnoted. What you carry can't be published. Because the blueprint isn't ink, it's energy, it's vibration. And it was placed in you long before the world told you how to think. So stop doubting your knowing. Stop comparing yourself to people who only look deep on the surface. They studied the data. But you are the data. They search for evidence. But your life is the evidence. That strange sense you've always had. That pull that won't leave you alone. It's not anxiety. It's memory waking up. You weren't sent here to memorize someone else's version of the truth. You were sent to remind the world of what it tried to forget. That the deepest codes, the ones that bend reality, don't live in libraries, they live in you. Number 6. Quit acting like you just got here. Your arrival was etched in stars before you took your first breath. Quit acting like you just showed up. You didn't appear, you were summoned. And not by chance, not by people, not by coincidence. Your arrival was etched in energy, sealed in alignment, and encrypted into the fabric of time before your first breath even left your body. Chosen One, this timeline didn't birth you, it unlocked you. The illusion is that you're finding your way. The truth is, you've always been the compass. That deep pull you feel, that magnetic resistance you've faced from birth, it's because your very existence disrupts the frequency of the fake. You weren't born to fit in, you were born to trigger remembering. Every space you enter either expands or collapses, and it's never neutral. That's why people act strange around you. Some shrink, some mimic, and some try to destroy what they can't understand. But don't ever let that make you doubt your placement. You are not late, you are not early, you are exactly on time, because you are time's response to what this world forgot. The way your life has unfolded with its delays and detours, it was choreography, not chaos. You weren't wandering, you were being positioned. The timing of your awakening isn't random, it's precision. You are the aftershock of an ancient promise echoing through modern noise. Your presence isn't a moment, it's a message. So stop walking like you're unsure, stop speaking like you're new to this. Your memory may feel recent, but your soul is ancient. You didn't come here to learn the path. You are the path, and everything around you is starting to remember what it tried so hard to forget, that you were never created to arrive quietly. You were always meant to awaken loudly, just by being. Number 7. Avoid fighting the wrong battle. You're not at war with people, you're at war with a system that fears your memory. They want you distracted, swinging at faces, clapping back at comments, losing sleep over individuals who were never your real enemy. But Chosen One, listen closely. The war you're in isn't personal, it's systemic. You're not here to win arguments, you're here to disrupt patterns. This isn't about people hating you, it's about a system trembling at the one thing it can't control, your memory waking up. The reason your path has been heavy, the reason certain doors stayed locked and your light attracted unnecessary storms, is because your presence doesn't just shine, it exposes. And what you're exposing isn't petty. You're unsettling timelines that were rigged to keep people asleep. Your very existence is triggering ancestral codes that were buried under centuries of manipulation. And now, the system is scrambling. Not because you're loud, but because you're clear. So don't waste your weapons on people. That's not where the real war is. The ones who misunderstand you, lie on you, or push your buttons. They're often just puppets, tools used by the system to pull you out of alignment. Don't take the bait. Your real power comes not from clapping back, but from remembering, from standing in your knowing while the illusions glitch around you. You weren't chosen to fight like everyone else. You were chosen to reveal. And once you realize that the battlefield isn't out there, but inside every false belief they programmed into you, then you stop swinging and start rising. Let them guess. Let them fear what they can't name. Because the moment you stopped reacting and started remembering, the system lost its grip. You're not just winning a battle, you're breaking a cycle. Number 8. Stop seeking external proof. You were never meant to learn the truth, you were built to embody it. They'll keep searching scrolls, running experiments, cross-referencing ancient symbols with modern science, hoping for some grand reveal. But the truth is, they're still looking for what you've already become. Chosen One, you were never supposed to learn the truth, like it's a chapter in a book. You are the chapter. You are the proof. And that's why you make people so uncomfortable. You don't need external validation, because your very existence contradicts the lies they were raised on. They were taught that truth only counts when it's peer-reviewed, televised, or written in gold. But the most sacred truths don't need a podium, they need a vessel. And that vessel is you, not because you're louder, but because you're aligned. That's what they hate most, that you didn't wait for their approval before activating, that you didn't beg for a title before remembering who you are. They kept asking, "Who do you think you are?" And your silence hit harder than any answer. Because the truth lives in your frequency, not your words. Every room you walk into becomes a test site for illusion. That's why some people can't look you in the eye. That's why fake systems glitch when you show up. You're not here to convince, you're here to be. And in a world that profits from confusion, clarity is rebellion. So stop shrinking to fit into dialogues that were never meant to hold you. You're not here to debate what you were born to demonstrate. The vibration you carry was never meant to be explained. It was meant to be felt. Embody it fully, because truth doesn't need permission. It just needs presence. And your presence is the final answer they'll never be ready to process. Number 9. Don't get caught in the noise. False systems built illusions just to keep your frequency asleep. They knew they couldn't destroy you, so they distracted you. They couldn't erase your essence, so they surrounded it with noise, flashing lights, shiny offers, endless scrolls of shallow validation and cheap success. Chosen one, the game was never to break you. It was to blur you, to trap your brilliance in loops of false urgency, to convince you that being busy was the same as being aligned, but somewhere along the way, the distractions stopped working. You started waking up. You began seeing through the filters. The headlines didn't move you, the trends didn't tempt you, the crowds didn't convince you, and that's when they panicked. Because chosen ones who unplug don't just escape the system, they start shaking its foundation. Every illusion they built was crafted to mute your frequency, to make you doubt your clarity, to make you second-guess your knowing. But the moment you stepped back, the signal got louder. Your truth got sharper, and now their game is glitching. You weren't born to blend in with the static. You were born to silence it. You are the calm that interrupts chaos, the presence that makes programmed minds pause. So stop feeding what was built to keep you asleep. The noise was never random. It was warfare in disguise. And your silence, that's the revolution they never saw coming. Keep pulling away from the illusion. Every step you take toward your true self is a frequency spike they can't handle. You're not distracted. You're decoding. You're not behind. You're finally tuned in. Chosen one, your clarity is a threat. Let them tremble. You were never meant to be consumed by noise. You were born to awaken what the system worked over time to keep buried. Stay focused. You're almost fully online. Number 10. Quit thinking silence means safety. Your remembering is the earthquake they tried to delay. They told you silence was protection, that disappearing would shield you, that playing small would keep the storms away. But chosen one, silence was never your safety. It was their strategy, because you're remembering. That was the earthquake they prayed would never arrive. You weren't just quiet, you were loading. You were syncing with a frequency they couldn't intercept. And now that you're waking up, they feel it. Their illusions are shaking. Their false alliances are glitching. The timelines they twisted are bending under pressure. And the wildest part? You didn't have to lift a hand. You just had to remember. You see, your power was never in being loud. It was in being aligned. That's what scares them. Not the volume of your voice, but the clarity of your knowing. The second you stopped needing their approval, their control started crumbling. The second you stopped explaining yourself, their narrative fell apart. That's what remembering does. It shatters the script they wrote for you and replaces it with truth they can't erase. You weren't sent here to blend in. You were placed here to realign reality with your presence. That tremor you've been feeling, that's not fear. That's legacy. That's your code activating. So stop thinking silence is safety. It was never about hiding. It was about building pressure. So the moment you rise, everything false collapses beneath your feet. Number 11. Avoid diluting your presence. You're not here to blend in. You're here to disrupt realities with your stillness. They'll tell you to tone it down. to soften your voice, shrink your energy, and make yourself more relatable. But chosen one, your stillness was never meant to comfort their illusions. It was meant to disrupt them. Your very presence, calm, quiet, but undeniable, shakes foundations built on fear. You were not sent here to blend in. You are the frequency they tried to silence because it unravels their performance. Don't dilute yourself to make others feel comfortable in their chaos. Don't shrink just because your glow exposes their shadows. They've mastered pretending, but your authenticity burns through the mask. Your stillness is not passive, it's power. It's what makes people restless in rooms they once controlled. You don't have to raise your voice for the atmosphere to shift. You are the shift. The moment you walk in aligned, the illusions start glitching. Conversations change. People fidget. Energy shifts. Why? Because the truth you carry isn't loud, but it's lethal to anything built on pretense. You've spent enough time trying to soften your edge for those who were never ready for your clarity. This is your reminder. Your presence is prophecy. Every time you choose alignment over approval, every time you refuse to shrink, you realign timelines. You don't need the spotlight, you are the light. You were never meant to blend in. You were designed to remind the world what it forgot. Don't dim now. The stillness you walk in isn't emptiness. It's encoded disruption, and the world is finally beginning to feel it. Number 12. Stop chasing the gate. You are the frequency that forces it to open without touch. Chosen one, you were never meant to knock. You were never meant to beg or force your way through anything sacred. That's what the unawakened do, those who think power is earned through noise and proximity. But you are power in motion. Your frequency is the key. The gate opens not because of effort, but because of essence. You don't need to prove. You only need to resonate. You've been taught to think you're on the outside, trying to get in. But the truth is, every threshold that matters, every divine access point, every shift in reality is coded to recognize you. Not your name, not your appearance, your energy. And the moment your energy reaches alignment, the lock falls apart on its own. That's why things fall into place when you're quiet. That's why certain people get nervous before you even speak. It's not coincidence, it's calibration. You are the vibration that makes illusions collapse and timelines tremble. The gate does not require performance. It requires presence. You don't need to find it. You need to become undeniable to it. So stop chasing, stop reaching, begin remembering. Because when you show up as your true self, unmasked, untamed, unbothered, the doors don't just open, they bow. And with that truth revealed, chosen one, let this be your confirmation. There's nothing outside of you that you need to force. The moment you align, the universe rearranges. The moment you remember, the gate responds. You are not seeking access. You are the access. If this message stirred something ancient in your spirit, take a moment right now to like this video and subscribe to the channel. That simple action helps this truth reach others who are ready to stop chasing and start becoming. Because the moment one chosen one rises, the vibration shifts for all.